Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your full moon reading for March 12th. So, of course, energy permeates, right? And especially so during the full moon, that energy is super strong. So it may extend, right, a few days before or a few days after, all right? Nonetheless, the full moon is a time where the moon's energies are at their peak, okay? Peak energy flow, very strong fire energy that's being channeled through. So it's a great time. It's a great time to assess, to kind of bring an awareness about how are we channeling that fire energy, right? During the full moon, am I channeling my fire energy in a positive way, right? How am I expressing that more dynamic, creative side to myself? Is it coming out, right, in a way that I align with, that I feel is helping me create and manifest, right? The moon cycle being very much a cycle of manifestation in and of itself. So this full moon is in the sign of Virgo, service-oriented sign, earth sign. So there's a focus, right, on the give and the take in a situation. Absolutely. In terms of either service or relationships, partnerships, whatever it may be. So now the full moon, right, brings about a sort of clarity each time that it manifests in a month. So the clarity that it brings, the ultimate clarity that it brings, relates to its corresponding new moon 6 months prior. So think back 6 months, right, to what you may have been ruminating on, right? Really thinking about, focused on bringing into manifestation and fruition, right? And whatever that sort of nucleus of intention was for you at that time, you'll see that at this full moon today and the few days surrounding it, we're bringing sort of a final culmination to that macro manifestation cycle, if that makes sense, all right? Now, aside from that, right, in a more micro sense, the full moon brings about a certain level of illumination, of clarity, as it regards the manifestation cycle of the month itself. So we had a new moon earlier this month, I believe actually at the tail end of February. And so whatever this period for you now is at the full moon will be bringing a clarity as it regards a situation that that was sort of initiated around the time of the new moon of late February, early March. Okay, so very exciting. I know that a lot of signs have been going through a period of absolute uprooting, transformation. The readings of the last few months, and particularly March, have been a whirlwind, to say the least, all right? Nonetheless, let's see how these energies are peaking here for you all, and I will start. Hi there, Scorpio. Hope you guys are all doing well. Change the atmosphere up a little bit for you guys and get some sun on us here. Okay. Let's see what the full moon brings to culmination for you. Wow. And the way that this card popped out, it was sort of like a balancing act. Quite literally, it had landed in this fashion here, if you can see that, and then it wobbled and fell over. So 5 of Wands in and of itself speaks to that period of sort of rumination, consideration of various ways that we can go about something, alternatives. Okay. Aha, 7 of Wands in reverse, overlaying the 5. This regards This regards, Scorpio, a desire and an intention to rekindle a passion that you feel is sort of in your hands to re-enable in some way. And you're thinking about the different ways that you can go about it. Wow. That was intense. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, I want to flip this card over. Well, rather this deck. I split it in a very intuitively strategic fashion. So I'm going to heed that. And okay. I also want to take note of that. Oh, okay. Okay, Scorpio. So let me tune in here. There is a situation I'm sensing that in the past, regarded some form of emotional dissatisfaction for you. In regards to, I'm sensing this can be either a love situation or it can be a situation that regards our career. Okay, and one that is creative. One that we feel compelled to pursue, to bring about, to bring into form in some way. There's a heavy emphasis on wands, on fire energy here for you. And I'm sensing it's the sort of birth of a creative venture that requires a fine-tuning of some sorts before it can be brought into its peak transformative existence. So, and it's something that you've thought about a lot. A lot of thought has gone into whatever this project is. Whatever this project is. And it's almost like you... There's this interplay between passion, drive, vision, creativity, a sort of fervent expression of our individuality even. And the need to move through and transmute otherwise sort of stagnant, heavy, negative sort of energy, right? So there's an optimism and there's a desire to bring about change and to make action, right? Take precedence over passivity, if that makes sense. You want to get your wheels in motion, like you want to make progress with whatever this project or new direction or rekindling of passion is for you, that you feel will bring abundance of so many kinds, like physically, that's just coming out. Feeling physically strong in your own, aligned with yourself, physically expressive, right? Actually being expressive. But you're waiting for that, to do that, until you know exactly which wand you want to light. But I'm feeling that once you decide, once you make that decision, it's going to be like wildfire, Scorpio. Okay, you have this Mother of Wands sitting up top, waiting for her eggs to hatch. And she's looking down at this process here of rumination. With intent focus. There's a desire to replace, right? I'm feeling that absolutely. A desire to replace, to mend, to bring forth a soft, compassionate, sentimental approach to what was otherwise a situation of heartbreak, of entanglement, of discord and strife. There's a desire to move through and transmute that energy in a positive way. And again, I'm feeling that you feel it is somewhat in your hands to do that. With the Son of Cups overlaying that reverse Three of Swords. Ruminating on even how I'm sensing that it's a creative sort of means by which you feel you are to bring this change about. That again, it's in your hands. It's about your personal expressions, about how you handle the situation. And it may be taking a creative form, right? This is like the shy artist. Son of Cups. Just waiting with his chalice of what looks like colored paintbrushes to pick one and start painting. But there's a suspense with the forward movement of the Son of Cups. And I'm feeling that it's like you feel that I first need to be solid, right? And fully aligned with what my motive and my drive is, and in what way I want to wield my fire energy, my passion, my creativity, my drive. What's the channel even? Wow, I just slid this deck aside, not meaning to leave the base card sort of apart from the rest, and death is what is at the base of this mini deck here. And death is looking right over at this situation. I'm feeling that this has been a period, especially with the Nine of Swords. Absolutely. This has been a period of rumination that has consumed you, right? This, how do I go about this? In what direction do I go, right? How do I make that movement forward, actually, once and for all? And it's almost like there is so much pressure on this interaction here of energies, on this rumination. Mother of Wands looking down here with the Nine of Swords in sort of her subconscious, right? She's waiting. She's like, I gotta give birth. Let's go, right? But it's sort of like it's that analysis paralysis sort of energy, okay? And death is looking over at this situation too. It's like, you know what this is, Scorpio? This is really fascinating. It's sort of like, like that, the crossover point of transformation, right? Where it's the dying off of something, of an old situation that no longer serves us, and it's the birth of another. But it's almost like in the delivery room, right? All eyes are on the baby, like, come on, you gotta come out. Like, you gotta come out. But it's almost like the baby is like waiting, right? In the womb, like, it's almost like, how do I come out? How do I do this? How do I birth myself? But in a way, it's sort of like that process is taking on a unnecessarily analytical, to the degree of planning every minute detail, right, of how this birth is going to unfold. The baby doesn't think about how that transition is taking place. It simply does, right? It transforms, it moves, but it's almost like, right, that it's like, on one hand, death, the release and the surrender to the old cycle. And birth, the birth that is to take its place, bringing you into the future. These two states are both looking at your discretion to move forward, right? Ultimately, it's like time stands still until you take the step, you make the decision, right? You commit to it. You say, that's it. I'm saying goodbye to the old, and I'm welcoming in the new. But that decision has to be made. That decision has to be made. And the Son of Cups is looking at death, and death is looking at this situation. The Mother of Wands is looking down at the situation. So this is very central energy, right? And so you could be going back and forth and back and forth. Well, I could do it this way, I could do it that way, I could do it this way, I could do it that way. But what awaits is the mending of whatever this previously emotionally dissatisfying situation was or has been. Now, off in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Hierophant upright and the Star in reverse. The Five of Cups is looking down at these two cards. The Hierophant is shouting up at the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which is overlaying the Father of Wands in reverse, which is overlaying the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Scorpio, I'm getting the sense that you had been moving in a certain direction. This can absolutely speak to finances, career, okay, or anything, right, that we contribute to on a day in and day out basis that we feel will bring us stability into the long term. You had been going about sort of your business, okay, sort of a one-track sort of way, in a one-track sort of way, where you were so just tunnel-focused vision on what you had in front of you, right, to complete your obligations that you felt you needed to carry out, that replaced your ability to step out in a much more creatively driven direction, channeling your even your independence, right? Creating. That's big. That's so big. I'm feeling that's so big for you, Scorpio. Okay, it's a matter of this fire energy. You know you have it. You know you want to wield it. You're like, how do I wield it? And so, but you realize that, hey, the first step is realizing that this is not the direction that I want to go in, right? This is like getting on the wrong escalator, going in the wrong direction, and then realizing I'm on the wrong escalator going in the wrong direction, right? So that's a first step. Realizing that, and then realizing, hey, this is the power that I want to step into. This is the energy, right, that I want to embody, that I want to allow to be channeled through my being. But there's this element of there's this element, Scorpio, of waiting, and it's almost like you are waiting for something to happen before you can actually make this decision, in a way. Like you're waiting for a guide, a sign, just a final sort of marker, a validation that you're going in the right direction, that you're doing the right thing in some sort of way. This is partly due to the fact that you have the Wheel of Fortune right beneath this Father of Wands. It's almost like the Father of Wands and his wielding of fire energy is at the mercy of the Wheel of Fortune. Fate, destiny, the turning of time, right? Fated events, change, news. So it's almost like all time stands still. In spite of the fact that you know that this fire is waiting to be expressed, and that fire is burning, that fire is growing inside of you, and it's even death is like looking over at it like, come on, man, like die already, right? And this phase, this stage of rumination, of overly analyzing, right? How an otherwise natural process is to take place. So there are a lot of characters here, and I'm feeling that they represent all these sides to your being that need to come into a form of assimilation of some kind, right? Working together, your logical mind, your drive, your passion, your fire, your creative will, right? Your more compassionate, nurturing, sensitive side. All coming together, and with your intuition being the main driving force, really, in all of this. But there's a dream that is not yet realized for you. There's a dream that is waiting to be liberated. And I'm feeling that it's once this birth takes place, once the clarity of direction comes about or is committed to. Okay? Thank you so much, Scorpio. I hope this reading was helpful for you guys. Revel in the full moon period. Meditate. But most importantly of all, Scorpio, I feel that meditating in such a way where we step into a space of absolute honesty with ourselves, right? What is holding us back from pursuing our dreams? What is holding us back from expressing our truth, right? From living in what makes our soul truly gratified, right? What is that impending force that is contra to our pursuit of soul satisfaction? Right? Is it a creative block? Is it it was on the tip of my tongue? Is it, see, it's like I can't even think of it. And I'm sensing for you, Scorpio, that because of this dichotomy between intellectual, mental, rational energy and impulsive, intuitive, sort of driving forces inside of you, it's almost like when you overanalyze, right, and you try to think too much through an otherwise sort of naturally flowing process, it then leaves you at the standstill of like, how do I even feel about this, right? I'm consulting my intellectual mind to such a great degree that then it's almost like that is the gatekeeper for the pursuit and the channeling of this fire. So if it's a performance anxiety, is what I wanted to say before. If it's a performance anxiety of some sort, right? Think about what is holding you back. And I'm zeroing in on my citrine crystal here, which speaks to the solar plexus and the bringing out of that fire energy. And it's a beautiful time during the full moon to really remain cognizant, right, of how are we wielding our fire energy? Are we wielding it? And what is holding us back from it if we feel that there is an impedance of some kind? Okay? So thank you so much again, Scorpio, and I hope you have a beautiful full moon. I will see you all soon. Bye.